Are you flyered up? F you.
F you.
Ignite the orange. Yes, you got it. I love it. Ignite the orange. Go Flyers. Anyway, back to baseball. We missed you last week due to wedding-related events that we both had to attend to. Not our wedding, unfortunately, but it's not what Jay and I are doing in life. But what did we miss? Well, let's just say it's like shitting your pants and changing your shirt. Yeah. That is an all-time quote from Josh Beckett, where it was just released that he was the anonymous source that texted that to a Boston radio station. This is in reference to the Red Sox firing 5 of their coaching staff, including Alex Cora. The reason I bring this up first, even though the Phillies just had their manager meet his demise, I guess is the best way to put it. The reason I bring up the Red Sox prior is because without Alex Cora being fired, Dave Dombrowski would not have offered the managerial position to Alex Cora the same day that he fired Rob Johnson. A little weird, but Dombrowski has history with Cora in Boston. Just a little weird that you try to hire a guy that just got fired 2 days prior. Not even. The timing was weird. But anyway, he declines, stating he wants to go get paid to sit at home with his family and eat Wolfgang's wieners all summer. Cannot argue with that. Some QT with the family and some good old dogs. I ain't arguing. Cora, enjoy your summer. But I did paraphrase. He didn't fully say that. Whatever. Has Dalton Rushing taken over as baseball's don't give an F residential douche? Or is he just ruthless? He's kind of backing it up right now with his bat and his defense. But do you have the right to call someone a fat because they stole a base on you? I don't think so. Mason Miller's streak of scoreless innings, rest in peace. All due to foul ball that grounded up the line. How did they score on that? Well, they didn't score on that. They just refused to acknowledge that it was a foul ball, even though it was clearly on the other side of the chalk in foul territory. And that resulted in another base hit, resulting in a run. Doesn't make much sense. Anyway, all this and more on the Drunks in the Pond. Be sure to like, follow, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, comment, tell Jay that he's great, chip into his GoFundMe towards his wedding, and most importantly, being that the Flyers are in the playoffs, we're going big.
This is episode 76 of Drunks on the Pond. And you know who it is. That's Rich. I'm Jay. Here to talk ball after a nice little week off last week. Unfortunately, as Rich had said, things had come up and neither of us really had time to hop on and drop an episode, which kind of sucks because last week was news-filled and action-packed, but we're ready to talk about it now. So you just take it for what you can. Anyway, baseball is still going on. We're still in the early part of the season. And if you asked Justin Timberlake yesterday what today was going to be, he would have said, and I quote, "It's going to be May."
All that I do,
but
never be enough for you.
There you go.
That's all I got.
But that being said, it's still the early part of the season, but your best team in the league right now happens to be in the NL Beast, which is the Atlanta Braves, currently sitting with a 22-10 record, like I said, as of May 1st. And it appears that the worst team in the league would be in the same division, which is the New York Mets, who are sitting at, I believe, 10-21 as of the recording of this episode. So take that for what it is. A lot of teams in the middle, a lot of teams showing promise on climbing the ladder, a lot of teams who are falling down the ladder. But regardless, there is baseball and there are moves. I do think that it's fair we start with the big news that happened last week was when Boston absolutely annihilated the Orioles 17-1. and it looked like they were going to start picking it up, and they immediately fired Alex Cora, Pete Fatsi. They tried to give Jason Varitek another job, but with the way he stepped away, you could only imagine that he went from bench coach to mop-up janitor after the game on the Green Monster, because he just said, nope, not doing that. See ya.
Jason Varitek also had a very weird title that I've never heard of anybody having in baseball. He was their strategic development coach.
It does sound weird.
It's
I'll give
weird.
you that.
I know
But
it's a thing,
at
but
the
I've
same
never
time,
heard those words.
yeah, no, this is the first time that I've heard of the position, and it's crazy that the Red Sox were like, well, we're going to take you off that position and give you another one. It's like, okay, it's like the only way he can go from here is up, right? Like, bench coach has to be the next role, like manager.
Mm.
I don't know what the next job was they offered him, but Varitek pretty much flipped him the bird and said, later, I'm out of here. So that happened, and it kind of took everyone by surprise. I'm assuming, because after a win like that, it's kind of like, all right, well, I mean, it looks like they're hitting their form. And then Craig Breslow, Sam Kennedy, and John Franklin, whatever his name, John Wilkes Booth, whatever you want to call him.
That makes sense. He did murder the team.
Like, but I mean, they've looked okay since the change, which is normal, I guess. And then I think the way that they kind of like handled the whole presser was kind of weird too, because it came out the next day when, like, obviously the media were asking, they're like, well, you know, like, whose idea was this? And Craig Breslow kind of said at first, like, it was a group decision and whatnot. And then Sam Kennedy like stepped right in front of him, was like, no, this was Craig Breslow's idea. And it was kind of like, oh, whoa. It's like, all right. It's like, yeah, he's allowed to make these kind of decisions, but like,
that was
Craig just
like
said himself
literally
that it was a group idea.
Craig Breslow just got thrown under it.
And then like Alex Cora is like throwing shade on Instagram, like sharing a clip of Mookie Betts saying that like he should have never been traded and all this and all that. And then he came out like a day or two later after his hangover went away. It was like, I appreciate the Red Sox organization for giving me a chance and all this. And it was kind of like, dude, what the hell is going on in Boston?
Dude, it's like,
I don't get it.
The best way to describe it is it's like watching a political dumpster fire. It's like watching the news where there's so much like flip-flopping and negativity and then positivity and then negativity and then positivity. It's just like, it doesn't make any sense. It's a very weird vibe there. Now they have fans that are legit paying for sky banners to fly over the stadium that say, fire Craig, sell the team. Listen, that is the real FU money. Like, I hate you guys so much.
Like,
I want to spend money to let the world know that I hate you guys. Awesome.
Like, here's my problem with John Henry. Like, John Henry is the guy who owns the Boston Red Sox. He was the one that I called John Wilkes Booth and John Franklin. Yeah. Let me tell you who he owns, right? John Henry is the principal owner of the Liverpool Football Club, who you know in the Premier League, if you watch English soccer, or football as they call it over there, Southampton forever, Boston Red Sox, the Pittsburgh Penguins, the Boston Globe, and he's co-owner of RFK Racing. Like, John Henry's estimated net worth is $5.7 billion. Like, this dude's money. There's no doubt about it. You own 5 teams pretty much.
Eat the rich.
This is one of those moments where I kind of feel like you need to sell it because you just have way too much dip on your chip. Like, you have way too much going on. You can't sit in front of people and say, like, our main focus is on this one team. It's not. You own all of these teams. You have all of these portfolios. You can't sit here and lie to fans and say that this is what matters most, because they're never going to believe it, because you have all these other projects. I'm not saying that, like, I'm not saying an owner can't have like 1 or 2 teams. Like, fine, it's whatever. If you want that, go ahead. But like, that doesn't give the fan base much hope. Like, the Philadelphia's going through it. The guy who owns the Sixers, Josh Harris, like he came in, he was like, like we're really going to turn this around. We're going to bring some rings to the city. And then a couple years later, he buys the Washington Commanders. And he's telling them the same thing. It's like, all right, dude, now like what matters most now? Because how do you balance out these two things? Like it's not possible. And I think John Henry sitting in front of people's faces and saying like, no, I can do it. Like, no, you obviously can't. It's
hard to
stupid.
disagree with that. It seems like all these owners who own multiple teams and things like that, they don't put someone in charge to fly the plane. They kind of just are like, hey, I know what I'm doing. But unfortunately, it doesn't seem like it's always working out for a lot of these owners who own multiple clubs and franchises and things along those lines. It's a weird vibe in Boston right now, especially after I guess you'd call it the Red Sox wedding. It's a Game of Thrones joke where everyone just got taken out. It's weird. And the worst part was, it wasn't until the next day that they even announced who was going to manage and coach. So they literally went into a game the next day being like, like, listen, who's our most seasoned veteran right now? Duran? Sale?
No, it's good.
Or not Sale. Crochet? No, not him. Ranger?
In terms of being on the team,
Yeah, exactly.
Trevor Story.
Yeah. Like, all right, you fill the wild card. Just go ahead. We trust you. We love you, Trevor. It's just, I completely forgot Trevor Story was even on that team. I thought of everyone who's been in the league for 3 years. Dude, it's just,
like
it's
I
weird.
don't know.
And then you have our situation that we're going through here in Philly, which is nowhere near as bad as what Boston's going through. I mean, Boston's really bad. We share the same record as them. However, we still have an identity. We have a very capable bench coach who was asked to step in. Obviously, second choice. Stupid. Should have been Mattingly from the beginning. Should have started the season with Mattingly. Sorry, Topper.
Yeah, so I would
Okay,
say like
you and I both said it. Mattingly was brought in for as soon as Topper was gone, and it was gonna happen.
yeah. I mean, I think one of my hot takes when we did the hot take post a while back was that, or it might have been on the episode, but was that Topper wasn't going to make it to either May or June. And what do you know? He doesn't even make it to May. And
Yep.
I'll be honest. I think the craziest part of that whole thing was that he was fired the day of a game when we had a day off the day before. Like, because I remember we lost. Like, we lost that last game. I think it was against Atlanta, and they were flying back, and like the day off was the next day, and like it felt like every beat reporter was like, "Oh, well, here goes Topper. Like Topper's getting fired tomorrow, and they're going to introduce Don Mattingly, or they're going to call Alex Cora. They're going to get all this figured out, and yada yada yada." And then the day off comes, and I'm just like checking my phone. I'm like, "All right, is he fired? Is he fired? Like, what the hell's going on?" And then like that, it was like, it might have been like later that night or like first thing the morning, the next day he was fired. And that's when it like went around, and it was like, hold on, like, why the hell did we just waste a day off? Like Rob Thompson got through the whole day off. He's like, all right, like no one called me. Like, I guess I'm good. And then like he wakes up the next morning, gets his bowl of cornflakes, phone rings, Dave Dombrowski's on the phone. It's like, shh. Like how the hell do you fire the manager? Like when you had the day off before the day of a game?
Let him stew.
I don't know, man. I understand the move. I understand making that move. I understand calling Alex Cora, but I'm not surprised that Alex Cora did not want to come here. Like, not for any like harsh reason, except for the fact that he just left the Boston Red Sox circus. Like, why the hell would he want to come to another one 2 days later? That's like riding on the Titanic. The ship hits the iceberg. The captain steps down and just grabs a busboy out of the dining room, puts his captain hat on him. He's like, all right, you're in charge. Go ahead. Save the ship. Kid's like, what the hell am I supposed to do? Who do I talk to? Like,
Nowadays, it would be like, see? But you hit the nail on the head. I mean, I'm going to expand a little bit on that. The thing that made me so not upset, I should say, the realization hit me that Dombrowski is not doing a great job. It not because countless times over the past couple of years he said our club is in good shape. We know what we're doing. We're gonna run it back, run it back, run it back, run it back. That like I didn't skip there. That's just what happens several times. Lots of running it back. Dombrowski seems to be only a creature of habit and comfort because the first thing that happens after he fires the manager is he tries to hire the manager that he won with before. It's just a little weird. I mean, if you can't be a good president of baseball operations, a GM, and wear all these different hats without putting trust in new people, what are you doing?
Yeah, I think that's the one thing that kind of bothers me with with the whole Phillies move is that Topper lost his job, which, when you look at the record, look at the way the team was playing, it's hard to argue against it. Like they weren't going into any games with any fire. They were just kind of going out there. They weren't pitching. They were just throwing the ball and just getting rocked all around the clock. I mean,
One guy
they
was
had a
pitching.
couple close games, but there wasn't anything to really build off of. And, as it's been mentioned, Topper was the guy to fall on his sword. But this should all go back to Dave Dombrowski and his quote about, towards the end of the offseason when people were like, dude, you're going to make any more moves? Like, this is still a team that just doesn't look like it's there. And Dave's like, we're confident with where the roster's at. Okay, well, congratulations, asshole, because you're currently, and God forbid they hold on tonight, you're going to be 13-19 and fourth place in the National League East. You had almost lost a dozen games in a row this year. The offense was awful. The pitching couldn't even pitch. And yet we're supposed to have faith in Dave Dombrowski going forward that all of a sudden he learned his lesson. This is not Dave Dombrowski's first job in baseball. He's been around this game a very long time, and he has been the general manager of a lot of teams, including World Series winning teams that have gotten to the end of the finish line. I just don't think that he is fit for where the Phillies are currently at. You have three older guys who are making a ton of money and are taking up a lot of cap space, but you don't have the rest of the puzzle pieces to really go with it. Listen, I'm talking a lot for a team that's starting to heat up, which is good, but catching is still a major red flag because JT Realmuto's now hurt. Rafael Marchand's not even hitting over 100. You had to call back Garrett Stubbs because you needed a second catcher. Bohm's like a light switch. Days he's on, and then there's weeks he's off. Bryson Stott, love his defense. Glad to have him at second base, but his bat's one of the more questionable ones, even though I just watched him hit a 3-run home run tonight. So, right now everything's working. It's clicking. Perfect. Yeah, everything's working right now, but we've seen what it looks like when these things stop working. And, as a fan, you got to look at it and just ask yourself, is this a team that I'm confident if they make the postseason is ready to make the run? I don't know. I think if Dave Dombrowski holds his job for the rest of the year, I'm fine with it. But I think John Middleton needs to really have a sit-down conversation with him and be like, listen, dude, I'm putting a lot of money into this goddamn thing. We need to figure this out now. That's just my take on it.
I mean, I'm right there with you. It's the signs are pointing towards brighter days, greener pastures, everything along those lines. There's nothing that is seemingly negative about the club right now. I mean, they're what, 4-0? Mattingly took over. Well, they'll be 4-0.
Yeah, pretty much.
So I'll accept it. Sometimes you just need that shakeup. Boston's was a massacre, not a shakeup. that was like an F5 hurricane and 9.7 on the Richter scale earthquake all at the same time. I use Apple weather. It's not like I actually know crap about the weather. It's weird in baseball right now because it seems like dark days are coming in a faster than expected pace. I mean, 3 teams in the AL are above 500. 3 teams in the AL. It's not because the AL is weaker than the NL, because there's literally 4 teams playing good baseball right now in the MLB. 2 of them might not keep this pace. That's Cincinnati and Atlanta. Atlanta is a very good team. The biggest issue with Atlanta is their pitching is still extremely questionable. They've had a lot of very good starts, but we'll see if it holds up. They got a lot of youth in that pitching staff, in that rotation. So we'll see if that holds up and these guys don't get figured out. Cincinnati, I mean, they're on a run right now. Best way to describe it, they're on a solid run. And the Yankees and Dodgers, do you expect them to be down in the basement with the Phillies and the Mets? No. But you don't expect to see the Phillies, Mets, Astros, and Boston all in the basement. So weird start to the season. These were the guys that were supposed to be contending to win their divisions. The Mets have their own hilarious point of problems, and it seems like that's the only manager in baseball that really should have 100% been fired. Mendoza, he's being held on to like a 2-year-old that you're trying to take away a pacifier from, and that pacifier is the life force they need to live. And good old Moneybags is holding on to Mendoza like, I love him. He cannot go. He can easily right this ship. It's just, I don't foresee it turning out positive. But hey, 19? Yeah, it was 19 when the Nationals won the World Series. They were 19-22 or 9-22, something like that.
Yeah, they were god awful that first month or so.
Yeah, they were really bad for the first month. I think it was 9-22. Guess what happens?
Yes.
They won that shit. It's
Spun
too
that shit
early
around.
to completely condemn a team. If you do that now, there's 2 teams in baseball that you can 100% condemn right now, and that's the Angels and probably the White Sox. I want to say the Rockies, but the Rockies seem like they're trying to figure out how to pitch at Coors finally.
I got to be honest with you. I wouldn't put the Rockies in that category. I'd take another NL West team and put them in that category, but I would not take the Rockies down there.
Or you say the Giants?
I would definitely say the Giants.
But
the Giants
dude,
have...
We've seen it. We've seen it plenty of times. The Giants are that pesky team that can turn their ship around. They always have been, except this year is different. You are right. They have a rookie manager and a very uniquely built team.
You can definitely say unique. The way I would put the Giants is you got a puzzle box and you're like, I want to put this thing together. It's only like a 10-piece puzzle. But then you realize that you have 30 10-piece puzzles and all the puzzle pieces are jumbled up between all these 30 boxes. So you just have a bunch of puzzle pieces and you don't have anything that builds towards your final picture, your final product, if you want to say. Like Devers, hell of a baseball player. Willie Adames, hell of a baseball player.
Matt Chapman.
Who's their catcher? Patrick Bailey, hell of a catcher. Matt Chapman, goddamn platinum Glover. Like you have all of these pieces. You have Logan Webb. You got, who's the left fielder? Elliot Ramos out there. Like, so you have the pieces, but there's just something wrong with this team. And I'm not saying there's something wrong because they just got swept by the Phillies. Like, I'm talking like when you look at the underlying issues, like, so right now, currently at 9:51 p.m., let me make sure they don't have a game tonight because they probably do. So this info could go spoiled very fast. Okay, no, funny part is they got shut out tonight. So it actually still holds. Giants, I believe, are currently the the only MLB team left that don't have 20 total home runs. Like they're sitting at
Yes,
19 right now. All of those
which is
players that I
crazy.
had named pretty much all have over 20 home run power by themselves.
Yeah,
If you want to call it a slow start, fine. I'm not against it. I do think they'll have a couple hot streaks this season at some point. Luckily, we don't have to see them anymore. But like
yeah.
currently, right now, there seems to be something really off with the Giants.
Do you want to go out on a limb? And I'm going to use this again because you said it and I clapped for it. Do you think that Vitello has too much tip on his chip?
It kind of reminds me of Gabe Kapler's first year with Philly, where he was a first time manager at the big league. You know, you make a lot of stupid choices. You say a lot of dumb shit in front of the camera. And, you know, a lot of people see it as like, what the hell is this guy doing? Like, he's not fit for the job. I think Tony Vitello right now is taking this as a stepping stone, because if you asked me right now, do I think he'll be the manager in like 2028? I would say no. He'll probably get this year unless they just absolutely blow ass for the rest of the season. And probably I would say some part of next year, unless the same thing happens again. And then Posey's got to make a choice. But like the Giants could just be Tony Vitello's first stepping stone into another managing position, or, you know, he could go back to college ball and just be like, listen, like I tried up there. It's a different world. I'm going to go back to what I know. So be it.
He wasn't ready.
But it can be simplified just like that.
It's funny you say that because I'm watching them throughout the 3 games against the Phillies getting swept. They have all stars at like 7 of their positions. Well, 7 players should be perennial all stars, not 7 of their positions. Because Logan Webb is probably the most criminally underrated pitcher in baseball. Dude's a dog. He's a bulldog. Shoves. And you got Luis Arias, who's once again doing what Luis Arias does. He hits. You have all this talent. And it seems to be the going theme of tonight. You have all this talent in your team, but you are grossly underperforming. I mean, San Francisco home stadium doesn't help either. It is quite possibly the biggest ballpark in baseball, the hardest one to hit a home run out of,
Yeah.
unless you're, Barry Bonds, because he's a freak. It's just underperforming across the league. If I gave you 6 guesses, because there's 6 divisions, if I gave you 6 guesses, would you have possibly thought that the NL Central was the best division in baseball come the end of the first month?
No. If you would have asked me at the beginning of the month who I thought the best division was going to be, I probably would have given you the NL West. I probably would have given you the AL East. Maybe the Central, the AL Central. But yeah, I don't think the NL
No.
Central would have been
Yeah, not when you
anywhere
have
near a
the
top
White
guess.
Sox and Minnesota. Yeah, not when you have the White Sox and Minnesota in the same division. But currently, they are better than Kansas City.
I
Baseball got
got to be
turned
honest.
upside down.
Yeah, it did. It truly did. The one team that genuinely surprises me with where they're at has to be the Kansas City Royals. How many times do we go into the off season, into the regular season, being like, you know, like I think this is going to be the Kansas City Royals year to really take the next step. It never happens. And I don't know how many times we have to say it this episode, but I feel like if we had to do a shot for every time we said it, I'd be blacked out right now. It's still early, but they're
Yep.
12-19 right now. Like,
Yep.
like this team has Salvador Perez, who's like, oh, Salvador Perez is old. Salvador Perez has 5 home runs and 11 RBIs. Vinny Pasquantino, currently right now, 3 home runs, 14 RBIs. He's hitting a $165, which is absolutely
Yeah.
insane.
And he's hurt
Bobby
right
Wood
now, too.
Jr. Is hitting 289. Big surprise there. But like, this is a team. This is a team that should very well be like among the top of the division. And the fact that they're sitting at the bottom beneath the Twins, who I think we all picked to lose over 100 games.
You're also glossing over the fact that Michael Wacha's on that team. And Michael Wacha is doing what Michael Wacha does at his old age. He's shoving.
Michael Wacha's a dog. Didn't I say last episode for one of my final thoughts? Like how Michael Wacha is just straight up like kicking ass right now? Yeah. It's just crazy. I'm just looking at their rotation, their bullpen. I'm like, dude, this is a team that just might have hit the worst rough patch that they could have. But then again, they have the same record as the Phillies, and I'm like,
well, not anymore.
You know how that goes.
Why
they won today?
Cole Reagans is not having a great year.
Not at all.
Which was a shame because last year Cole Reagans was considered their ace. Baseball's weird in 2026. Let's just say it. I don't like it. I don't. We're at the point where we're starting to get into real baseball at this point. Yes, I know the first month counts too, but this is where teams start playing better. And that's just the way it is every single year. You can have bad first months and still win. We've seen it. I already mentioned it. I'm not going to point at DC again. But right now, there's easily, let's take a look at this. There's easily 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 teams in baseball right now that will not finish with an under 500 record, yet they have an under 500 record right now. You got Baltimore, Toronto. I'm putting Boston on this because Boston has too much talent to not do it. You got the Phillies, the Mets, Kansas City, Houston, the Rangers. I'm not including anyone from the NL West because I don't think Colorado and the Giants will be above 500 at the end of the year. You got all those teams, and you're just like, you're better than this. You'll be better than this. Just give it time.
I gotta be honest with you. I like majority of those teams. Not really big on Houston though. So I will say this: Houston does have a lot of good offensive pieces. Very good offensive pieces. Right now. Outside of Yordan Alvarez, and maybe I want to say Isaac Paredes. I don't see a lot of big guys who can change a game. Like, obviously, Cam Smith's still a baby in the league. He's only 23 years old. And then Isaac Paredes, who is just linked to just about every goddamn team in a trade. Then you got probable MVP winner in Yordan Alvarez. But there's not much in their rotation that really makes me go like, oh, this team is full of dogs. Like I don't see it, and I don't see it in the rotation. Like their number one right now is Mike Burrows, who has a 6.25 ERA. Then you have, I'm surprised he's still here. They have Lance McCullers Jr. as the number 2. He's got a 6.32. Spencer Arrighetti. He's been in and out of on and off the IL for God knows how long. The fact that he's still with them is absolutely insane. And then you have Spencer Arrighetti, who's their best rotation piece right now, 3-0 with a 2 ERA. Dude named Peter Lambert, who, if you asked me to point him out in a lineup full of 10 guys, don't think I could do it. He's got a 3.52. You have Christian Javier on the 60-day IL, but he left with a 12.54 ERA. And then
how many innings?
Christian Javier?
Yeah.
He's got 9 1/3. And that's in 3 starts. So he's been going just about 3 innings.
Yeah, that's pretty rough.
He's got 9 walks to 4 strikeouts. Like, I don't see how Houston gets
Hunter Brown
to 500, who's also on the 15-day IL. And there's There's always a
And he
chance that
should be
these
back.
guys hit the IL and they do not come back the same player.
But yeah, they're saying that he should be back within the next week or two. But you're not wrong. I didn't realize that roster construction is so bad. How about the huge fall of Jeremy Payne? What are you, dude?
Nothing will piss me off more than the absolute shelling he gave the Phillies in 22. It makes zero goddamn sense to me.
Well, you got that,
That dude,
and then Christian Javier just playing like they sold their soul to the devil. And Jeremy Pena was touted to be the next best shortstop in baseball. And Christian Javier was literally touted to be Cy Young the next year. He was everyone's dark horse. And look what happens. Just because you're great in the playoffs does not mean you're great every year. Also, we didn't once mention that little big toe looking bastard, Jose Altuve.
I think Father Time's finally starting to catch up to Jose a little bit. I mean, not saying he's having a bad year. I mean, he's hitting 250 right now. He's got 3 home runs, 8 RBIs. But I mean, he's 35 years old. He signed through 2029 for a 5 years, $125 million deal, which is extremely team friendly. But like
Sure.
at the same time, what are you kind of expecting from the back end of Altuve's career? Like, I think that's what matters most is like, what do you do with second base when Altuve's like really starting to show his age? Like, are you cool with, taking him out and figuring it out? Or yeah, like I don't know. I mean, you do have Carlos Correa and Jeremy Pena, so I guess you could just move one to second if you really wanted to. But yeah, I'm pretty confident in saying that. I think we've seen the last for a while of the good Houston Astros, which is
Well,
crazy
I'll get these.
considering
I'm
the
doing
run
this.
they went on. Like that team was like that 2017 World Series, I think, was the one where they played the Dodgers. Let me just fact check. Yeah, 2017, which was we all know as the trash can gate series, which led to absolutely zero punishments and a lot of questions in baseball. But like I think that was our first taste of like the Astros, and it was like, damn, dude, like this team is really good at the right moment. Props to them because it's not every so often you get a franchise that just goes on like an 8-9 year run, and even still towards the end of the run was still winning the World Series. Like that's incredible. Obviously, we're probably watching it with the Dodgers right now, but I've come to kind of appreciate the Astros for what they were able to build. Don't like that we lost in 22 to them, but I can still show a little bit of respect to the way they built the team. Jose Altuve is probably most likely going to the Hall of Fame. Yordan Alvarez is a top bat in all of baseball. Carlos Correa was really good for a long time. George Springer was a good player. A lot of talent came out of Houston, and you just gotta show appreciation when you can, because I don't think we'll ever see that kind of talent all together in Houston for a while.
I'm not going to disagree with you. I like the way you summed that up. I don't think Houston has the same chops that they used to. So yeah, fairly well. So I think it's time that we move into our favorite delicious segment that is just so scrumptious and just always cooked perfectly. A word from our sponsor, Wolfgang's Wieners. These boys, they're doing it. They're just doing it. Like I'm almost speechless when I think about them. However, I can throw some words together because what I'm supposed to do. It's hard to look at a company that is just continuously putting banger after banger after banger after banger after banger on your plate. Think of anything but positive words to say about. Jay, I know you have a little bit more in with ownership than I do. I didn't receive the text today because I was at work. What is our weenie of the month for May?
So I haven't yet had a chance to talk to Mr. Wolfgang today. He is on a nice vacation. Him and Miss Wolfgang are down in a very beautiful part of Greece in Santorini. They're taking their yearly trip down there, go visit some friends, some family. Just for a couple weeks, they go and they visit Europe, go see the sights and all the wonderful things there. I am going to try to reach out to the chef tomorrow and, try and figure out what we're working with here. I mean, what we're talking about, what we're expanding on with the Instagram and keeping up with the weenie of the month. But yeah, I'll definitely have that information by the next episode we record. So this isn't like a hand up accountability thing. This is just kind of like how me and Rich took the week off last week. Mr. Wolfgang's on his vacation and I'm
Yeah,
not going to bother the man
everyone deserves
because
it.
I know if I was in Santorini, Greece, looking out on the water, beautiful views, the last thing I want to hear is my phone ringing by some asshole calling about hot dogs. I mean, listen, if there's a man that knows his hot dogs, it's Mr. Wolfgang. But the man also deserves some time away to focus on other parts of his life. And by all means, he's got it. He's got it.
Please do. But that does bring us to our important point, weenie of the week.
I got to be honest with you. I think this is going to be a 2-weeker because this dude has been not only pissing off me, but a lot of people in baseball. We brought him up earlier, and this dude
I knew it.
This dude is one of a kind, to say the least. And unlike his last name, I'm not rushing to get out of this segment. Our weenie of the week is none other than Dalton Rushing. If you haven't been watching baseball or your head's been stuck under a rock, let me just give you the lowdown here. Giants and Dodgers played a series last week, and there was a little bump at home between Dalton Rushing and Jung-Hoo Lee. Luckily, Ho Lee was all right, but he was a little banged up. Dalton Rushing walking back to the dugout after making the last out, or getting Lee out for the last out, I apologize, had said something along the lines of he called Lee a and it was caught by the broadcast, so obviously the Giants didn't hear it, they didn't see it. I'm assuming until the next day, because the next day, Dalton Rushing in his first plate appearances took a ball straight to the ribs. Well deserved. If you're going to talk, then prepare to get hit. That's how it goes. That's how baseball has always been. So that was our first taste of Dalton Rushing being a weenie. And then this week, as Rich had recently brought it up, the Dodgers were playing Chicago, the Cubs, and a member of the Chicago Cubs. It was Miguel Amaya, backup catcher. Dalton Rushing, he said something pretty messed up. From what was explained to me, he pretty much called Miguel Amaya a fatty, a fat boy. And the batter at the time, I believe, was Nico.
Fornicator.
And I believe the batter was Nico Horner at the time, because I think he came out the next day and was like,
Yes.
Yeah, I did hear it and I didn't say anything, but I probably should have. I can understand in that moment your focus on the plate appearance and trying to drive in the run. At the same time, like, if you hear the opponent catcher call your catcher a fat
fornicator,
here's the thing. I don't hate Dalton Rushing. I don't hate him because he's good at baseball. He's good at what he does. He's only 25, which is crazy to me. But like, where is all this coming from? Like, are you only talking because you're actually playing well this year because you sucked last year? Now you're doing a little better, so now you think you can just like badmouth people, like you can call people these and call them fat fornicators. It's not a good look for the Dodgers, a team that we already hate for building the Monstars. Yeah,
It's like I think
I don't know.
I think the
I don't like it.
craziest part. No, I don't either. But I think the craziest thing that he's done so far is but it the crazy thing. There's two crazy things here. I gotta stop saying crazy. He has several things on his rap sheet so far this year that most teams would be like, dude, you gotta chill. Except the Dodgers are just like, whatever, no one's gonna beat us. But I think the silliest thing that he's done so far this year is he has flat out accused the Colorado Rockies of cheating.
I totally forgot about that.
You accuse the Rockies of cheating. They have the highest percentage of first pitch swings in baseball. And he was like, they made a lot of hits on the first pitch. It's almost like they knew we were coming, and it doesn't make much sense. Did you just insinuate the Rockies cheated? If they did, would they be anywhere near as bad as they? I mean, what, dude? It's beyond comical to even make that sentence come out of your mouth, but to say it to the media with confidence, I don't know, maybe they are. What? Like, I'm paraphrasing, I'm using a lot of basically context clues to what he said because I don't recall exactly what he said. But what? Putting claim that the Rockies, the team with the highest first pitch swing rate, they did what they were supposed to do. They got hits on the first pitch and they won the first two games of that series. If you want to be upset about that and throw shade and blame and insinuations, dude, you got to chill. Freddie Freeman's got to do what Freddie Freeman does. Mookie's got to do what Mookie does and put some of these guys in a box. Like, yeah, listen, Rook, if you're going to talk to the media, run it by us because you're saying some outlandish and the name calling, it's a sport. You're going to say messed up stuff. You're going to be rude. You're going to say dick it throughout your entire tenure. Don't make fun of someone's weight because they stole a base on you. You got bested. Accept it and move on. It's almost like everyone in baseball named Dalton sucks. First or last name.
Yeah, like I could imagine being on the Rockies, right? If I saw this correctly, the Rockies don't have a single player over the age of 30. So like this is a team full of like young guys and like one vet. Like I think Mickey Moniak is technically the veteran on this team, which is absolutely insane to me. But Mickey Moniak's also got 8 home runs, 17 RBIs, and hitting over 300. So you know what? I don't want to hear because if there was one guy who stood by Mickey Moniak, it's this guy right goddamn here.
I picked him up in fantasy.
Love Mickey. Shout out Mickey Money always. But like,
yep.
If I was the Rockies and I heard a team or a player that was on the Dodgers go, I think the Rockies are cheating because they know what we're throwing. I would literally print that out, throw it all over the clubhouse walls, and I'd be like, we start winning and people think that we've slaughtered a chicken and using voodoo magic to all of a sudden be a good team. Like, we're not talking like the Colorado Rockies are at the top of the NL West. Like they're 14-18, which is not bad considering who they are, who they have. But like, you're a first place Dodgers team. The Colorado Rockies beat you once, and all of a sudden they're cheaters. Really? Are we really going to call Colorado a bunch of cheaters? All right, dude. Like, I don't know, man. Like I said, I don't hate Dalton Rushing, but like, I kind of feel like this is the type of that's going to get very old very quick. Because as much as, like we say all the time, the Dodgers are annoyance, Dave Roberts is a very good manager, and I think this is one of those things that Dave Roberts is going to nip in the bud rather quickly and be like, yo, listen, dude, like, we may be a very good team. We may be all of these things, But the one thing that I will not allow this team to be is a bunch of slandering assholes. Like, you have guys like Freddie Freeman, Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts, who are all top sportsmanships in every way of the game. If there's
Stand-up
three guys
characters.
I would want, like if there were three guys I wanted to humble one of my players, it's those three. Like, I don't even have to get them from
Absolutely.
different baseball teams. Like, I already have all of them in the room. So, I mean, I think at some point they'll probably sit him down and talk to him, but like, that still doesn't take away from him being the May 1st Weenie of the week. Fucking Dalton Rushing.
It's only fair. Dude, it's only fair. Like, one of the guys that I see all the time at my job, he was like, dude, what do you think about him? And I was like, it's too early to tell. The hardest part about saying it's too early to tell is he's had too many instances of dumb shit happening within that too early to tell time frame. You've played less than 75 games in the majors, and you've had 5 or 6 instances where people are like, dude, you're a douche. Like, it's borderline mid 90s baseball personalities. You got a little bit of time before he can reach that John Rocker or Aubrey Huff type of, I guess you want to say, decorum. But
Yeah.
I think Aubrey Huff did most of his damage once he retired and figured out what Twitter was. Let's just hope he does not become. Let's just hope he doesn't start doing racist tirades and end up like John Rocker.
I would sincerely hope he knows better than to do anything like that. But I also didn't suspect Wander Franco to be having relationships with a 14-year-old girl. So I just got to shrug my shoulder and be like, you know what? Unfortunately, anything in this league
My money
happens
was
to
on
be
a pool.
possible.
Dude, one of the most disrespectful moments that's ever happened in baseball was getting that notification that he was suspended. And I was like, why the hell is he suspended? And I look and I go, oh my God, what?
Yeah.
And I remember
so
how
bad,
thrilled
man.
you
Like
were
that,
I remember how thrilled you were to get that baseball.
it's still sitting in my case because I'm just kind of at a point where it's like, you know what, dude, like that is a terrible thing. But I need to figure out a proper way to just destroy this thing. I'm thinking about just taking it, buying just a nice stick of dynamite, and then put it under the pot with the baseball and just blow this thing to smithereens.
Or soak it in something flammable like gasoline and hit the crap out of it with a bat.
Knowing my luck, I would hit it into a dry patch of grass and just ignite an entire field.
I was just gonna say you have to do it in a wet field.
Like, you talk about something that the baseball gods would absolutely shun the Phillies for, it would be for me doing something like that. 1,030%.
No,
But
we can't have any
gonna
voodoo
figure out a way
magic
to
that's going
destroy
bad.
this.
You can't have any voodoo magic going bad because you did something. I mean, it's not like you were cheating like the Rockies, but we need to figure out something fun to do with it.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely
it'd be
think
really
we can
cool.
try and figure out something.
It'd also be really cool
What's
because I don't care what anyone says. They are mesmerizing. All the videos on TikTok of the hydraulic press.
Yep,
Dude, I
I've
can watch
watched
them for hours. Yes, exactly. You get it.
Been
You know what
there,
that
done
is?
that.
That's just men. Oh, dude, I love watching something get smashed.
You know what? Hold on. Let me do a quick look here. Hydraulic press near me.
Hydraulic press for a ring.
Like, I want to blow this thing to shit. We can definitely figure out something when that time comes. No doubt about that.
Hey, leave some comments on what we should do.
Years ago, I was giving an autographed baseball by my lovely fiance, and it was one that I had asked for because at the time I did not know what would come in the future. I am stuck with this autographed Wander Franco signed baseball, and I need your help to figure out how we should get rid of this thing. Should we put it in a hydraulic press? Should we throw it off a mountain? Should we throw it into Niagara Falls? What should we do with this baseball? So I want you in the comments down below to tell me what you think we should do to get rid of this baseball. We'll pick our favorite, we'll videotape it, and we'll be sure to post it so you can all see what happens with this baseball.
And for us being now in May, let's do our final thoughts for the first episode of May. So, what I got might be controversial, but not controversial at the same time. I saw a TikTok, and I believe I sent it to you. If not, let's revisit this and let's discuss, because I think it's kind of a unique take on baseball.
Is this
Grand
the Mookie
slams.
Betts lady?
No, it is grand slams. Not extremely common, but not extremely rare. But it is what is considered to be the holy grail of a home run. Is there any possibility in your mind you can fathom a grand slam being worth more than 4 runs? Say a grand slam be 5 runs because of how hard it is to do, how not frequent they occur, and most importantly, what's the real gain for an individual player besides you just hit 4 RBIs with one swing? Why are you not giving them a little bit extra because of what they did? They cleared the bases with one swing and drove themselves. I saw this and I was like, listen, I don't like this. I kind of don't hate it, but I don't like it, but I kind of don't hate it. It's just a talking point. It does not mean that I'm on the side of giving 5 runs for every grand slam. Okay, what say you?
Yeah, I'm not for it. I mean, I love grand slams. I love that we've only ever known grand slams as like a four run home run, if you want to say that. Like I've been to one of my favorite baseball memories comes with a grand slam. Not only that, but it's come with 2 grand slams in a game. Now, if you want to know how incredibly rare that is, it's only happened 13. I don't want grand slams all of a sudden. Do you want to take a shot in the dark? Every time I find a clip of it, I always post it.
Was it a Phillies game? Was it Ricky Jordan?
This was, so little backstory because I have a little bit of time. Phillies were playing the Marlins at home. And this was probably, I want to say 2017, maybe 2018. And I had woken up that day, like, because this was when the Phillies were bad. Like they were awful at this point. I woke up that morning and I was like, you know what? Like, I'm going to get Phillies tickets today. And I went by myself. I sat in the first row, first base side, a little down the foul line. The Phillies gave up a run in the first inning, which we all know. And then they just put an absolute ass whooping on the Marlins. We ended up winning that game like 20-1. The grand slams were from Wander Franco, Aaron Altair, and then I think Carlos Santana hit a 3-run home run. I think Jorge Alfaro hit a homer that day. We absolutely buried the Marlins. Like that game was such an ass whooping. And that was the first time I ever took myself to a Phillies game. I'll never forget it. Highlight memory of my fandom. But no, keep grand slams at 4 runs. I can't see it ever becoming a 5-run, 6-run. Don't do that.
All right. Listen, I get it. It was just a talking point, buddy. I'm glad you didn't get bent out of shape and, go off the handle.
No.
I'm very so. I will end it with, on this day in baseball history, as I typically do, there has been a lot that has happened on May 1st throughout the entirety of baseball's history. Let's go with the most recent notable moment. San Diego's Trevor Hoffman set the major league record for the most saves with one team at 321. He broke Dennis Eckersley's record of 320 with Oakland. Ricky Henderson surpassed Lou Brock as baseball's career stolen base leader with his 939th steal, as the A's beat the Yankees 7-4. 1 year later, in 1992, he starts his own club with his 1,000th career steal. Just a league of his own, literally, and not even figuratively. 1991 as well. 44-year-old Nolan Ryan strikes out 16 Blue Jays en route to his 7th career no-hitter with a 3-0 win at Arlington Stadium. 1975, Hank Aaron has 4 hits and drives in 2 runs in the Braves' 17-3 win over Detroit. This brings his career RBI total to 2,211, breaking Babe Ruth's published record of 2,209. But on February 3rd, 1976, the Records Committee will revise Ruth's total to 2,204. So in actuality, Aaron set that record back on April 18th, 1975. You gotta love when research does its job.
Hell
1926. 1926. Satchel Paige, 19 years old, makes his debut in the Negro Southern League, pitching Chattanooga to a 5-4 win over Birmingham. 1925. A's introduce Hall of Famer, 17-year-old Jimmy Fox, who has a pinch hit single against Washington in his debut. And 1920, Babe Ruth hits his first home run as a Yankee as New York beats Boston 6-0 at Polo Grounds. This is a big day in baseball. A lot of cool stuff happened on May 1st. Okay? You do it, buddy.
Just got a very quick final thought. Number one being, sorry that we haven't been around. A lot of stuff's come up recently, but we're slowly getting back into the feel of things. The Instagram's going to become more active. TikTok's going to be moving as well. But like I said, it's a slow process. It'll start rolling soon. My second final thought being for the people who watch the behind the scenes, just a quick apology that I haven't gotten an episode out lately. I know it's been a while, but I've kind of hit a bad case of writer's block. I have one written, but I can do the recording for it soon, which I will probably do just to get you guys one. But I'm still dealing with writer's block. I do have a couple started. I'm having trouble really finishing them off. Here's to hoping I can get out of it soon, get you guys the content that you want. And then, number 3, just wanted to say thank you for everyone that's tuned in, kept up with us, and listened to the audios. I know the YouTube views can be kind of low, which is fine because this is mainly a podcast that I know that I listen to. I listen to all my podcasts on the radio, the drives home, driving into work. Even when I'm just driving around, I have a podcast on. So I know that the audios have been doing very well. Videos or whatever, audio is what the people mainly need, which I'm happy to supply. But anyway, wherever you watch it from, wherever you listen, we're extremely grateful for all of you. It's truly a blessing to be able to do this every so often. And dude, here's to reaching 100 sooner than later. We're almost there.
Indeed.
But with that being said, it is about that time. But you already know who it is. That's Rich. I'm Jay. This has been Drunks on the Pond, episode 76. But before we leave, Z, I need you to do me a favor, baby. Hit that music. It's time to wrap up and get the hell on out of here. Peace.
Stay drunk.
Oh, yeah.